I really want us to like reimagine a better world, because I really feel like right now in 2020, for all of us, the world feels like it's completely burned down, but that gives us a chance to try something new, something exciting. And Leslie, when you and I were talking before this started, I was asking you, how can we make some of the things you wanted to do more possible, rather than just like focusing on an individual level, which we should do. But like, and you were saying paid maternity leave. And so let's do that. Can you talk about like your perfect world 2021 parents get, what do they get, Leslie?
Yeah, I think, I think it's more than just maternity. I think it's family leave. I think that children need to be able to bond with not just the mother, like the father needs to be very involved in that process as well. And there are other countries that are models for how to do this. I don't remember if it's Sweden or it's one of the Scandinavian countries that has, I think it was like up to 2 years paid family leave for fathers. And so that is amazing. And I think that that's very possible here. We just have to shift our priorities and we have to start looking at families as this, the foundation of this country, are its families. And so if our families are going to be successful, if our families are going to be given the tools, and the support and the systems in place to be able to thrive, then our country is going to thrive. And so we can look to those countries and we can really start to reimagine what it would look like to bring some of those practices and some of those, some of those policies here.
Yeah, it's so important. Dads want to parent too. They're just not being given the tools, because we silo parenting as a woman's thing. And so it becomes this cultural thing, this policy thing. And like, if we could just let dads be dads, we would all be able to sleep at night. Probably. Christine, the world has burned to the ground. We're going to rebuild it. What does your new world look like?
Oh my God, it has obviously everybody working in synergy. It has tax credits for underrepresented moms so that they can get childcare. It has cash support. It has everything that Leslie was saying. It looks at the fact that it's not just paid maternity leave. It's a better paid family and medical leave situation going on. It's flex work, it's weekend childcare support from employers, it's 24-hour childcare support from employers, because not everybody works the traditional 9 to 5. And it absolutely is tracking the caregivers in the workplace and optimizing benefits appropriately.
Yeah. All right, MJ, your perfect world. We're rebuilding from the ashes. What does it look like?
Everything Leslie and Christine just said, plus a boba tea place on every corner, because there just aren't enough of them. I just really quickly, I just want to piggyback on what Leslie was saying, because when I was running for office when I was breastfeeding, and I would face discrimination from both parties, by the way, nonpartisan, generally, usually from an older generation, frankly, but people saying, how are you able to do that? And some of them were saying, wow, you're amazing for being able to do that. But others were saying, you really shouldn't be doing this. I mean, you're not a great mom for doing this. And you know what I mean? And so it was such an insult to my husband. It was such an insult to him as an equal partner and parent, and to act like, well, while she's on the campaign trail, are you babysitting? And he said once, and it stuck with me, he was like, I don't babysit my children. I'm a parent to my children. I'm not a hired, helper. And so I think that we do need to normalize we put a lot of pressure on men to be good dads and to be around. And then it's almost like we make it like it's unmasculine to be in a parenting role. And so that's unacceptable to me. And I think my husband's doing a great job of trying to do what he can to normalize that as well. So plus boba tea.
Plus boba tea. So it sounds like while we wait for these systemic problems to be solved, we need to start pushing our legislators, our congresspeople, our senators to pass some of these laws. We need to start electing people who care about this, and this is from either party, because we can get bipartisan support on this. And then in the meantime, as Leslie's pointed out, there's some real like fundamental things we can do, like co-ops and drinking boba tea, I think, is what MJ wants us to do.
I have a craving that I can't make it.
And start hauling our kids around with us wherever we go and making that normal. I think we're being forced to, and not dropping out of the workforce, really sticking in, because I need every person, every parent. We need you to stay in the workforce. So how can we make that possible? Reach out to MJ and Christine and Leslie, and we'll make it happen. I think, even though we started a little late, I think that's about our time. And I will just let you all just kind of have any final thoughts before we go. Give it some encouragement to the people out there. Christine, I see you just unmuted yourself, so go for it.
Please, please, please do not drop out of the workforce. Please, please. Just like Lyz said, I know it's hard. I know we are all on this call battling our own things going on at the same time. Please don't do that, though. Please. That's my only final thought.
Leslie, what words of encouragement do you have for the people out there listening?
I think just trust in your creativity. I think even if we drop out of what is considered a normal workforce, there's a lot of things that we can do to still, make sure that we are contributing to the economy. I started my own business, and so we also need to be able to give women and mothers tools to be able to do that as well. And so there's so much creativity in us. There's so much strength, as we've seen in the decades that we've been fighting patriarchy, the centuries we've been fighting patriarchy. And so just, trust in that creativity that's within all of us.
Yeah, that's so important. MJ, what's your last bit of advice and encouragement for the parents out there struggling?
Vote and vote. And it doesn't, I was about to say it doesn't matter. Of course, it matters who you vote for. But regardless, I just want to encourage everyone, no matter where you are on the spectrum, to vote. Our democracy is so much healthier when people vote, when we hold our elected leaders accountable. When you're not voting, make phone calls to your elected leaders. And a little hint is do a little bit of research before you go and vote, because those races that are lower on the ballot, the lower on the ballot that race is, the more of an impact it directly has on your day-to-day life. So vote, call, be engaged, don't be discouraged, hang in there. Necessity is the father of invention. We can turn this, if any country can, we can turn this into something that we can learn from, and we can come out on the other side of it stronger.